everybody. Welcome to Monday Night Live in Lexington, you guys. My name is Kathryn Kauffman, and I'm a psychic medium here in Lexington, Kentucky. Welcome to my every Monday night show. This is where we discuss what and who we are in this journey called life. Now, let's go. Well, good evening, Mr. Charles Biggs. Good to see you here tonight. I'm going to jump over to Facebook and refresh to see if anybody's joining there. Please feel free to put your questions in the comments. The signal's a little bit bad tonight, so I'm looking a little warbledy there. Now, I don't think it's on my end. I did a speed test before the show, and it was good, so I don't know what I don't know. Hey to Princess Poet, Will the Wizard, and Michelle over here on Instagram. Good to see you guys tonight. We're going to go over some alien encounters and some similarities, I guess, between those encounters. So Charles wants to know, where's the martini? Actually, it's bourbon tonight. Many of you guys know that on Christmas Day, my birthday, I hurt my back again. I have like 5 old nursing back injuries, and I re-injured it on Christmas Day. So I've been really trying to get back to walking and doing a few things. It is better. This definitely helps. Okay, so let me just take a sip. But, if I have my druthers for pain control, Charles, it's going to always be bourbon instead of the martini, although the martini is a good fix as well. But tonight we're going to go into alien encounters. Let me check and make sure that we've got... hey to Janice over here on Facebook. Good to see you. I'm only seeing, I guess, YouTube on the comments for the streaming service. I don't care what streaming service you go with, you're not going to see all the comments. So you have to keep another page open to try to capture the comments as they come in, or questions. Because no matter what service you go with, it's going to be the same. So let's go into my sponsor for the show's Patreon. I'd like to tell you guys a little bit about my Patreon page and then play you a little clip. My Patreon page, every single day you get a psychic and moon astrology forecast that involves, a health areas of concern, what the general energy is for the day, what you should be focused on. Also, if there are concerns about people being agitated or maybe acting out, that's going to be in the daily forecast as well. So you can kind of prepare for that before you go into your day. I also put a travel, moon mansion travel reference on there. Also what crystal's best for the day. And there are several levels of support on Patreon. There are 3 levels. The basic level where you get the daily forecast is only $3 a month. Okay, that's less than the cost of Starbucks coffee. And you get guidance for every single day. Tier 2 is online teaching, and they get the daily forecast as well. And tier 3, those are my VIP Patreons. They have online teaching, daily forecast, and you get once a month a special access to me in a online chat room where you get to ask any question that you want, psychic question that you want. So let me play my little Patreon video for you. as you can see, there's a little QR code at the end of the video, and all you have to do is scan that and it'll take you straight to the Patreon page. Now let's get into our content, you guys, because I've been dying to go into this with you guys. Alien encounters. I wanted to present to you guys 2 alien encounters that aren't well known, because, who wants to listen to the same stories that you probably heard time and time again? Hey to Judith and Janice, good to see you. So I tried to find a couple of encounters that I personally didn't know about. So I thought, well, maybe listeners didn't know about it as well. And so this would be some new story for you. But I also want to give my father's encounter. Now, I myself have never had a personal encounter that I know of, but a lot of people repress encounters and they stay in the unconscious mind until you get a trigger. So I could have had one, but I personally don't remember having any. But my father did have one when we came back from Midway Island, and I was about 6 or 7 maybe, and we had bought a farm, and he had put a garden out. And I remember I was in the kitchen with my mom, helping her in the kitchen, and he was out in the garden, and he came running in a big, huge panic, out of breath. And he said, give me a piece of paper, and a pen. I need to jot this down. I need to sketch this before I forget it. And so we rushed around and got a pen and paper, and he was commenting that he had seen a UFO, and that to him it looked like the color was silver gray, and it was cigar shaped. And he explained that it came out of the clouds, hovered over the garden, and then shot off very fast into the other direction. And that's, my dad was very stern military Navy man, and to hear him say he had seen an UFO was that was really something, because before this happened to him, I'm sure he would have probably poo-pooed encounters of aliens before he actually saw one. And after he saw one, then of course it's always a different story, isn't it? Let me check the comments. Okay, we're good. I'm just making sure that we're all copacetic. So let's get into it. So these stories were taken from online source called The Guardian. And let me go ahead and tell you the first one. So this was a story by Terry Lovelace. Now, you may not have been aware, but the Pentagon has been quietly investigating unidentified flying objects since 2007. The fact that they think that these might exist is good news for those who claim to have seen them. These the reports that I'm going to send you or talk to you about next is by Terry Lovelace, a retired assistant attorney general in Vermont, USA, and the author of Incident at Devil's Den. He kept his abduction to himself for over 40 years due to fear of losing his job. He had a close encounter in 1977 while serving in the U.S. Air Force. Lovelace, now 67, was on a camping trip in Devil's Den State Park in northern Arkansas with a friend and colleague named Toby when things got strange. They were sitting around a fire, struggling to chat over a din of buzzing crickets and croaking tree frogs before everything went quiet. That sound kind of cliched out of a movie, but that's exactly what happened to us, he says. 3 bright lights appeared on the horizon and moved in their direction. When the lights were overhead, they could see that they were emanating from a black triangular prism as wide as 2 city blocks. A blue laser beam darted over them, which Lovelace thought was scanning them. When it shut off, they suddenly became sleepy. Next thing, he woke and saw Toby peering out of the tent. The triangle was still hovering above what appeared to be a dozen children standing in a meadow below them. "What are these kids doing out here in the middle of the night?" said Lovelace. "They aren't kids," Toby said. "Do you remember they took us and they hurt us?" Lovelace says the moment Toby said that, he had fragmented memories of being inside the UFO flashing in his mind. Now, years later, through hypnosis, he was able to fill in the blanks, and he recalled actually encountering the creatures while inside the UFO. Okay, so there's going to be some similarities in these stories. Let me check for questions really quick. I think we're good. Hey to Sheila, good to see you tonight. Now, I want you to pay attention to several aspects in this story. The blue laser beam that was scanning them, the fact that they became sleepy, and the fact that they both lost time because he didn't remember the encounter with these beings completely, and the triangular craft. So here's the second story. We're talking about a person by the name of Godfrey. Godfrey, a no-nonsense Yorkshireman, born and raised in Oldham, is long retired from the force, but still recalls the events of that night when he came face to face with the peculiar object, a diamond-shaped aircraft hovering 5 feet off the ground while spinning on its axis. He just had time to sketch the UFO on his notepad before he was blinded. In his next moment of conscious awareness, he was sitting in his patrol car. The UFO was gone. I got out of the car, looked at the road surface, and it was like a whirlpool, he said. The UFO's rapid revolutions had arranged the dead leaves, twigs, and other debris into an autumn-themed spiral. In the aftermath of his encounter, he had visits from the Ministry of Defense, correspondence from a Russian scientist, and interest from the world press. He even underwent hypnosis to uncover memories of his abduction. So, in this story, we're looking at a diamond-shaped craft spinning, again, losing his conscious awareness, okay, and the autumn-themed spiral. So the similarities in both of these encounters are a hypnotic state of mind, telepathy, loss of time, messages through the subconscious, symbolic meaning through geometry. Okay, now I'm going to talk to you about communication with aliens. Let me check for questions really quick before I get on that tangent. So we have similarities between these two stories. We have similar geometric shapes, the spiral, the diamond, the triangle. We have both parties having some kind of hypnotic state. We also have a loss of time. So Tara says, well, so question, how does this fit in with other realms and alternate universes as well as spirit guides, etc.? Okay, access to alternate universes, access to spirit guides and other realms are all done through the subconscious. And so, this is how aliens are communicating with us, is through the subconscious. Now, when we put information out there for aliens to pick up on, like it's our attempt at communication with them. And I'm going to talk about the Arecibo message. I don't know if you guys know about that or not, but in 1974, we put out what was called an Arecibo message, and it was a message designed to be understood by extraterrestrial intelligence. Now, I'm going to give you a little visual of the Arecibo message. It's not the exact one. It's like a similar type of thing that they put in there. And as you can see, let me get over here. This is sort of symbolic. So they put this message together and they made it numeric and symbolic. And so this is what they think that extraterrestrials may relate to, or it may trigger something. Now, I was looking up symbols and stuff like that for the show, and they were talking about crop circles having a lot of messages contained within them. So you're not just, when you see a crop circle, you're not just seeing something pretty. There's actually symbolic messages that are embedded into the crop circle. And so my thought is that the geometric shape that they present the craft in and other things can be having symbolic messages embedded in those than just the shape of the craft. I mean, it could be part of the hypnotic type of influence that they have over people when they encounter them. I'm checking for messages or questions. But going back to the similarities, let's take a look at those again. A lot of people say that they get telepathic messages from aliens during their encounter. And if you've watched the show on telepathy that was a couple of weeks ago, you know, I'd say probably 10 years ago, it was not proven, but is now proven that telepathy actually exists and that it's reproducible and testable. So, to say that they communicate telepathically now, there's a different skew on that because we have proof of telepathy now. So, symbolic implantation. And a lot of these people have to go to hypnotherapists to uncover what memories are repressed. Now, going back to the first story when they scanned the guys with the laser beam, could that have been a device to place them into a hypnotic state? And being that they fell sleepy directly after that, I'm going to say yes. Also, the second guy, Godfrey, now when he sees the diamond-shaped craft, it's spinning on its axis. Now, I don't know if you guys remember back in the old days when they used to show people getting hypnotized and they would have that watch ticking in front of their face or moving it back and forth to help induce a hypnotic state. Maybe the spinning of the craft helped induce this hypnotic state because it was right after that he loses his conscious awareness. Okay, and then he loses time. He's sitting in his patrol car. So both parties have lost time. Both parties have had something happen to them that put them in a hypnotic state. And both parties have a high level of geometry that they're looking at and experiencing. Especially Godfrey's, because at the end of his experience. Remember, the UFO's rapid revolutions had arranged the dead leaves in a spiral on the road, which is another geometrical shape. So I think the keys to communicating are through vibration, geometry, and subconscious. And we're going to go into that in more detail next week, because this is the alien series. So I want to go into a little bit more about how to communicate and why to communicate. I've uncovered a lot of really neat information about maybe why they're here and what they're doing. Let me check for questions really quick. And I think that we might be good. Let me go back to comments on here. So Tara, your question's long, but I think they're all interrelated. Alternate universes, other realms, spirits and guides. I think they all fit together, and I think that eventually, if we don't destroy the planet, that we might just figure it out. But we have seen a big period of devolution in the last 5 years, and hopefully we can turn things around and start evolving again, and maybe find out some more things about ourselves and the world around us. So I know it's a little bit of a short show tonight, but it still hurts to kind of sit up straight for me. And so I'm going to go lay my back down with the rest of this bourbon. So Tara says, wonder if those that are telepathic were aliens in a previous life. We're going to get into that next Monday, Tara, so tune in. We're going to get into that. All right, you guys. Kisses from Kentucky, and I will see you next Monday. And hopefully I'll be even better. It's getting better slowly each day. So hopefully I will be even better by next Monday. Bye, guys.